Every time I felt hungry or I had midnight cravings, or if I was too lazy to cook, I'd often end up splurging on food delivery apps to order food without thinking twice. Not only that, I would also end up doing online shopping from grocery to clothes. However, one day when I gave it a thought, I realized that all the mindless spending was leaving me with little to no money in my bank account. I started to panic as I realized that I needed to save up for more important things. I knew that, I needed to stop spending unnecessarily, but it was so hard to break the habit. One day, I decided to take a good look at my expenses and was shocked to see how much money I had wasted on things that I didn't really need. Things that were wants, but not necessarily a necessity for me. That's when I decided to make a budget plan and started to cut back on my spending. At first, it wasn't easy, but I was determined to stick to my plan to save a certain amount from what I earned. I started cooking more meals at home instead of eating outside, and I stopped purchasing clothes and items that I didn't really need. So, social media and advertising also influences mind greatly. And that's what happened when I spent hours and hours on Instagram and YouTube watching hundreds of videos on new products and cooking shows. So the other day I watched a reel on chocolate glazed donuts, and this created a craving in my mind. And I went on to open my app and placed an order with Dunkin' Donuts. So you see how advertising, marketing, or even the social media persuades us to make purchasing decisions from not wanting it to actually placing an order. So slowly but surely, when I started my journey towards mindful spending, I started to see my savings grow, even if it was just as little as 500 or 1000 rupees. I felt proud of myself for taking control of my finances and making positive changes in my financial life. From that day on, I made a deal to myself to be more mindful of my spending and to always prioritize my financial stability. I created budgets and plans that help me save more and spend less. Have you been in a similar situation and wondered where you've been spending all your money and if it's really worth the purchase you made? Or if you actually needed what you've bought? You've been earning, but you end up spending all that you have only to realize you're left with little to no money in your bank account or in times of need. You're continuing to working hard, but it's difficult to save. If you are like me, then mindful spending is a great way to save and be more intentional with your purchases. Here are 5 life lessons that I wanted to share with you from famous authors on how to spend less and save more. These have personally helped me, and I think it will help you too. So, lesson number 1: the way to wealth is as plain as the way to market. It depends chiefly on two words: industry and frugality. Benjamin Franklin. Too heavy? I'll break it down. Benjamin Franklin stated that the path to becoming wealthy is very simple and straightforward, and it can be achieved by putting in your efforts. So he emphasizes that the path to earning money is highly dependent on two words, that is, industry and frugality. So, here by industry, he means that uh, your hard work and your diligence is required to achieve success, while frugality simply means that uh, you need to be careful with your resources. So, essentially, Franklin is just suggesting that by working hard and being mindful of one's spending, anyone can achieve financial success. Lesson 2: the price of anything is the amount of life you exchange for it. Henry David Thoreau. So, this quote by Henry David means that the cost or value of something is not just measured in terms of money, but it's also in terms of the amount of time and effort you invest into it. So, in other words, if you want to buy something, you have to sacrifice a certain amount of your life, your time to earn the money you have to pay for that product. author is suggesting that we should be mindful of the true cost of our choices and consider whether the things we are sacrificing, like your time and effort, are even worth the things we're gaining. Annual income, £20, annual expenditure, £19, 19 shillings and 6 pence, result happiness. Annual income £20, annual expenditure £20, ought and 6 result misery. Charles Dickens. So Charles Dickens writes in his famous novel David Copperfield, and he explains the importance of financial management in achieving happiness. So he says that if a person's annual income is around £20 and if their annual expenses are £19, they will be able to live a happy life. However, if their annual expenses exceed their income, even if it is a small amount, they will experience misery. So this highlights to us the importance of living within our means and managing finances responsibly to avoid debt and financial difficulties. So make a budget and stick to avoid the latter. Moving to lesson number 4, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few ones. I think this is the 5th one. Yeah. This quote by Epictetus suggests the true wealth is not measured by the number of possessions one has, but rather by the contentment and satisfaction that one derives from having few desires or wants. So in other words, a person who is able to find happiness and fulfillment in the simple things in life is truly wealthy, regardless of their financial or material possessions. It emphasizes the importance of being satisfied with what we have and not constantly striving for more, as this can lead to a never-ending cycle of desire and dissatisfaction. Practice gratitude and focus on what you already have rather than constantly seeking more. So these 5 life lessons from all these famous authors emphasize the importance of hard work and being careful with resources, considering the true cost of our choices, not just in terms of money, but also in terms of our time and effort. Living within one's means and managing finances responsibly can also help us to avoid debt and financial liabilities. Overall, practicing gratitude and being mindful of spending and making right choices can help us save and be more intentional with our purchases. Hope this content was beneficial. Make sure to like, share, and comment. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, amigos. I'll be back with more such helpful information and tips. Until then, continue to spread love because there's enough hate in the world.